Hey, I thought I'd go over some things that I'll be doing throughout the next few weeks. Obviously, March has been crazy, and there are, tons of games I wasn't interested in either, like Dead or Alive 6. If that game gets discounted and they add the tag mode back, I might look into that game, but I wasn't even interested in asking for a content creator key for it, and apparently, I guess due to the core demographic, they got a lot more requests for that than anything else. So I don't even think that was an option in the first place. I should explain that April for me, from a financial standpoint, I'm going to have to put pretty much everything I make from the channel, which looks like it's going to be about $150, $160, not barring donations or anything. I'm going to have to put all that towards my vacation. Last year, I carpooled with a friend who came up here, and that saved me about $100 round trip. This year, unless things change, I will not have that option, so I'm gonna have to cough up about $100 roughly for the train. I do have my hotel fare already covered. I will be staying with the same person. He doesn't charge me to stay there, but I'm gonna need to pay for that and the badge, and that's gonna come out to just about $160. So that's pretty much all the channel budget. But fortunately, I looked at like pretty much all the release like date lists for Steam and Switch. That's pretty much the only two platforms I use at this point, and there really wasn't anything particularly interesting coming out. Now there is Katana Zero. I have been following this game for years, and it looks pretty cool. It looks right up my alley. I hear it even has some cool like accurate, I guess, depictions of mental illness and stuff. As you know, I am a mentally ill person, so it'd be kind of cool to see that. I might actually enjoy the story for once in a video game, but the gameplay looks right up my alley. So I'll be doing this on the 18th. They have a Switch version for $15, so that's not going to be an issue for me to afford. But barring any surprise releases, there really isn't anything else I'm going to be getting. Now, my birthday just passed about a week ago, and I got a couple of things with my birthday money, which I have not shown. You probably have seen some of this stuff if you've been watching my streams, but unfortunately, due to all the strange restrictions on streaming Fate External Link, I've had to end up deleting most of those VODs. And as you can see, I have the... gotta scroll back here a couple pages. I bought 3 of the hypothetical scenarios for Season Pass 2. I didn't buy Chen Gong's because he didn't particularly have any DLC music in there that I wanted to chill and listen to. So, unfortunately, he's going to sit it out for now. I may complete the set later. Obviously, I already bought Season Pass 3, and we're supposed to be getting the next batch of content. I assume within the next week or two, which will probably be the next batch of costumes, and then the final 3 weapons. So I'll be covering that as well. I'm sure we're going to get the April update at some point. I hope it's better than the last one. The last one was pretty lame. They just added a big bear that shoots lightning and doesn't drop anything interesting. It didn't really add a new dynamic to the game, unfortunately. I think that's one of the worst updates they've done. Hopefully the next one will give us some of that promised stuff we still haven't seen, like new accessories, the growth system, and the new gems and stuff. They're kind of running out of time at this point. I don't know if they have actually announced another season pass past this one, so I don't know if maybe they're planning to put all that in on the next one. For what it's worth, I know people complain about the DLC in this game, but you look at like Dead or Alive 6. You look at this game, and it has like a $92 season pass and only 2 new characters. Like, I think the Dynasty Warriors 9 DLC is a much better value, despite the fact that they do inflate the cost with all the costumes and stuff. The costumes have gotten better with this season pass. It's not just all frilly, obvious fan service stuff. They actually have costumes for the males. Some of them, like the Lu Jun one, actually look pretty badass. So it does add a little bit of a new dynamic to the game. I just want them to, with the free patches, I want them to add more post-game stuff. That's definitely the biggest issue the game faces right now. They have decloned how many characters now? They decloned like almost 20 characters by the end of this season, and there's just still nothing to do when you beat the story. I think that's something that needs to be addressed. I don't know if they ever plan to address that, but that would definitely get me playing a lot more. As it is now, I mess around with the weapons. I do True New Hefe Castle. I do an overview for you guys, and then that's basically it. Sometimes I play through the story if I haven't before or I haven't done it in several months, but it doesn't really keep you invested in the game for a long time. I like that the game is kind of like a service game. I just think that the prices could be lower. But regardless, I already paid for all that content, so I'll be doing that. Fate Extella Link, I actually managed to fix some of the issues I was having with recording and streaming the game. Basically, I had to put it in borderless full screen, which makes it run uncapped. However, that seems to increase the stuttering even more because of the poor optimization. I really don't think it's my computer. I think that my computer should be able to run this game at 144 frames per second. I'm fairly certain. But if I don't uncap it, it increased the stuttering. So what I did is I had to go download NVIDIA Inspector, and then I had to manually cap it to 60 frames per second. And that has actually kept it quite stable. There are still some stutters sometimes, which is obviously just the sign of a bad PC port. But I will be able to play this more. I think the deal is I will stream myself playing through the story on Twitch, which, they don't enforce anything on there. The enforcement on YouTube seems to be on a case-to-case basis. I've seen people say that they have streamed the whole game, like all 3 endings and stuff, and not gotten hit at all. And then I've seen other people say that they get a content ID or a copyright claim during their streaming. If you're not a content creator, you don't run a YouTube channel, if you get one of those while you're streaming, your streaming privileges are revoked, meaning you can't stream at all for an indeterminate amount of time. I believe it's a few months. So I'm obviously not about to risk that. I don't really care about my Twitch channel. It's very secondary to my YouTube channel in basically every way. So that's probably what I will be doing throughout the next few weeks. Power Rangers, if you haven't been following that game, it is kind of a mess right now. The game itself is very fun. I've had a lot of fun on launch day. I played like 2 or 3 hours or so, and I did some more time in the lab as well, so probably more like 4 hours. I'm really enjoying the game. However, there's like a glitch where you can't block low online, so a lot of times I'd see people like trying to mix me up with a low attack during their chains, and I can't do anything about it, especially when they summon the Megazords and those hit low. Like, you can't defend against that either. So it's just a mess right now. I'll probably put up an arcade mode run, maybe some matches with people, but you can't even play matches with friends. It's like really odd right now. There's no lobbies and there's no like friend play, so even if there was that bug, you could easily just get around it by playing with a friend in another game, but unfortunately you can't. They are aware of it. They said they want to fix it as soon as possible, but you know how difficult it is for them to patch anything these days on consoles. The big three have super long certification times. Maybe they'll be able to get it through faster this time, but playing online is just it's like a circus right now. So that's a little bit disappointing, but I will still be making content for that game. Probably once I find a more solidified team, I'll put out some combo videos and stuff. Also, where is it? I got Unist for $25 with some of my birthday money. I would say I'm not really a serious fighting game player anymore. Just the area that I live, the inability to have consistent, strong locals, and my low income preventing me from traveling to events has pretty much made me not really want to compete anymore. But I wanted to get this version since actually a lot of people I know. Here's one Sanitarium. Here's my friend Anthony. A couple other people from the channel. They all have the game, so that might be a fun little community event that I can do at some point. Anyway, that's basically it. So to recap, I will be doing some of the hypotheticals on Dynasty Warriors 9 while I wait for Battle for the Grid to get fixed, which will hopefully be by the end of this week, if not early next week. Fate Extella Link, I need to get a clear file on here so that I can start doing the end game. That way I can stream the game again and not have to worry about getting copyright claims and stuff. So I'll probably be working on 2 of those this week, and then when Battle for the Grid gets fixed, I'll probably be playing that more. Also, finally, the Bloody Palace is going to be coming out on the 1st, and as you can see here, people have found a data mine that says that you can unlock the Bloody Palace and Divergence. The common theory is that Divergence means that you'll be able to play as all the characters in any mission, which is what the game desperately needs. I think the replay value in DMC5, as it is now, is just greatly limited by the fact that you can't play as who you want for pretty much the majority of the game. Even if you do like Nero and Dante, even if V does not bother you that much, you still have a very small selection of levels to use them on, and you're constantly switching. And I think the first playthrough of that game, even for like Don Guri, was like very awkward because he had to kind of adjust to all the mechanics of all three characters in a very short period of time. So that's definitely when I'll be playing that game more. I assume that this is going to come with a patch. And then finally there is Online Bloody Palace, which is basically the worst kept secret. It would have been a ridiculous waste of resources to have, the cameo system in the game and not just have straight up co-op. So that's when I'll be playing a lot more. So when it comes out, maybe possibly before, I'm going to try to finish DMD so that I can get the super costumes. I don't want to pay for the microtransaction for them. I want to earn them since I've done everything else in this game legit besides just cheat past V's parts because he just sucks the fun out of the game for me. And then I'll probably look into doing some online BP runs. So that's the majority of what I'll be doing for the rest of this month and April. Once I get my trip paid off and if there are any outstanding releases, I'll definitely keep you guys posted. But I do have some backlog stuff as well. I didn't go back and finish Vesperia. I got just busy with other stuff. The grind in that game is kind of a little bit too much with all the other stuff I had on my plate at the time. So I'll probably go back and do that. Maybe look into a New Game Plus file. Also, Dragon Mark for Death just got an update today. So I might hook up with the Discord and maybe do some stuff there. So basically it's going to be a little bit of a backlog and existing content on games I've covered in the past. Anyway, that's it. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.